Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Supernatural Nightmare Logic. And I didn't like this episode. Oh my god. I'm usually okay with the Monster of the Week episodes, but this one was just boring and really didn't do much and just continued on doing the boring story of what's going on with Michael. I sense really not that much urgency, even though we're kind of given a little urgency with what's going on at the end of this episode, but it's like the exact opposite of the monster movie episode. Instead of being tightly crafted and engaging and really like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next, it just fell into the same old kind of trap and honestly was stuck with too many people in it. Because we had Sam, Dean, Mary, and alternate universe Bobby, and one kind of thing where you're having to deal with all this kind of stuff at once, and it's just you have to be very careful when you have ensembles in anything. You have to make sure you can divide the time equally, and it was just, oh, okay, we're getting this information on alternate universe Bobby, and it's just the same kind of shit. So, this episode starts off with the plot device. I'm sorry, her name is Maggie. Setting off the whole chain of events. She is going hunting on her own, and she's got a body cam with her. And that becomes a crux of the episode. And I know it could probably be bringing in for, like, police or whatnot, but in the context of just what's going on here with Supernatural and Hunters, I'm surprised that they had not done this sooner and just had cameras and had it backed up internet-wise so that way, oh, if a hunter goes off solo hunting on their own, kind of like what happens in this scenario, people have a lead to go on, and that works out perfectly well. Except, of course, for the plot device, Maggie getting caught because she thought she was going after a ghoul, and she gets almost instantly fucked off by something. And it's like, oh, okay, that was fast. And Maggie was the one that Lucifer had killed and brought back at the end of last season and all that. And by the way, we started with one of the longest recaps that felt the most ADHD possible. It didn't really get us that much into what's going on here. We're just like, what the fuck? But she's captured. We get into the bunker and we see Sam and Dean talking about like everything that's going on. Sam's of course worrying himself then. He's like, oh, the hunters do check in now. Showing that Sam is kind of changing up how hunting's been going. And I'm like, ooh, that's cool. We don't really get that much more in depth with it or explored how usually hunters have been very on their own, very solo, and reluctantly team up every so often. Whereas I would have liked to have seen it explored since the British Men of Letters were such a threat to the hunters, them not creating themselves as a men of letters, but creating their own kind of organization and do their own kind of networking so that way they're more prepared for the monsters that are coming and any kind of threat like the British Men of Letters. That's still in the background because we then get in, oh, one of the hunters is to check in. Oh, it's Maggie. They of course get up her body cam footage. They go out and are trying to look around everywhere. Sam pretty much is like, she's dead. Dean like, well, there's no blood or anything, so we could be okay. And I kind of like Dean trying to... He took a more softer brother approach to this, because he knows Sam has been writing himself hard, and Dean's of course writing himself hard for the whole Michael situation, but he's trying to be as supportive in Sam's kind of new hunter leader role as possible. And they get caught by the groundskeeper dude, and they get sent up, and they decided to play it off that, oh, this place has been picked for historical preservation. We'd also gotten some information that, like, Mary and Bobby were off somewhere hunting some kind of monster. And, of course, Castiel and Jack were on their own hunting scenario. They were going after a Rougarou. It's always a Rougarou! That was kind of funny. It's just, I always find that kind of popping up, and it's like, come on, don't you guys hunt anything else? Or are they that big of a problem? I would kind of like a kind of almost joke episode where they have to mess around with a Rougarou so we can see what the big fuss is about. But they get in and we find out that the caretaker's the one talking to him, that other historical preservation people were there, and it's Bobby and Mary, and Bobby's acting pretty much like a dick. And the flimsiest of reasons we get towards the end of the episode is he thought he was going to die in the apocalypse world, and he's pretty much been hunting very hard because he essentially wants to die. That's it. Because all the shit that went on in the apocalypse world and all that. Yeah. So he's kind of taking that out on Sam and calling him a shitty leader and all that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. We see that the owner of the whole estate had a stroke and is kind of in a life support kind of situation. But of course, his daughter comes in. She's been handling everything, kind of waiting for him to die. Pretty much telling everybody to kind of leave. And as everybody's trying to leave, that's where we get the whole Bobby headbutting more scenario with Sam pretty much calling him shit. Mary trying to defuse it, saying, okay, Dean and Bobby go this way, Dean and Sam go this way. We then get two different parts where Sam's trying to talk it out with his mom. His mom trying to talk to him about stuff with Bobby as well, which evidently she's got a thing for him. I thought there would be some kind of more lag time because the last time she tried to get into a relationship that was with Ketch, and that did not end out very well. Now, granted, she has spent more time with alternate universe Bobby, but I would kind of just rather it be more of a friendship, to be honest with you, rather than just, it feels like a forced romance at this point kind of thing, or at least the fourth idea of a romance, and I just don't see it adding anything on it. Okay, that's fine. We'll see if you write it better later on. But Sam, of course, is trying to come to grips with everything that he's doing as a leader. Mary, of course, is being supportive, but they kind of find a pile of things, and it's for Hunter stuff. I'm like, oh, crap. Bobby and Dean are kind of checking everything out. Dean's pretty much telling him to stop being a dick. They happen upon a cabin. Dean finds the body of the Hunter, and Bobby saw someone and left Dean to be fucked off, pretty much. And I'm like, okay, don't tell anybody you're going to go check something out. I mean, you're leaving your Hunter team buddy in the wind. I know Dean can handle himself, but it's still, okay, you call everybody else an idiot, but I'm going to go off and do my thing. Dean then, of course, gets set upon by a creepy old man that grabbed Maggie, who looks like the dude that owns the estate. He charges at Dean. Dean stabs him with his machete, and he puffs into dust. What the fuck? Okay. And they're like, everything's going crazy. We gotta get back to the estate. It's like, give them the lowdown of the nurse and the daughter. They're trying to look around the whole estate and everything. There was at one point the daughter was trying to go. At one point, we also get the daughter going out to the attic because she thought she heard rats and everything, and she saw this thing, and we find out later on she thought it was like a vampire. That's what she tells them going on through here, and it was like some of the shoddiest camera work that I've seen because I didn't even know what I saw. I'm almost going like, what was that? I've got to tell you, the camera work has not been that great this season. There have been really some issues with certain action scenes going on and just certain just cuts that really haven't been that much of a problem before. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So she understands what's going on. She's like, you wouldn't believe me. Yes, vampire. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Blood and everything. We're going to, okay, we'll have to see how this goes. Sam goes up to investigate. Of course, Bobby's outside. Mary kind of like tries to figure out what's going on with him. He's kind of just wandering around because he's trying to go after the person that he had seen. Yeah, let me get into that first. Bobby's still kind of like wandering around and all that because Mary had went out to try and check on him and sees that he's not at the truck and follows him off, and we find out that it is Bobby's son from the alternate universe. He's not actually there. But he's like blaming him, saying that the angels crucified him, his eyes are all burnt out, and of course, we get the lowdown later on that Bobby had a son with his wife. His wife didn't go natural, and they had to take care of that. Then the Angel War started. Bobby was the commander. His son was in his platoon, and he pretty much feels that he sent his son to die. And never even found a body or was able to say goodbye. So that's why that was connected to him. They're, of course, fighting off, but like Bobby gets pinned to a tree, and they're able to kind of get it down, and Bobby's able to stab it, and it poofs out the dust. That's kind of the end of that. Bobby's all wounded, deals with all that, moves on. We see that Sam has gotten up into the attic, and that's where Maggie's at. He then dusts another thing that had come at him. She's okay and safe. Dean is pretty much trying to figure out what's going on with the dude, and he tells the daughter he kind of has the inkling of what's going on because he's looking at the blood. He's like, oh, he needs blood and all that? It's like, oh, okay, something different. He tells the daughter to go make a sandwich, and she's like, what the fuck are you talking about me making? And he looks at her and he's like, oh, okay, I'll go make you a sandwich. It's like, you would think Dean would have came up with a better excuse, but granted, since he is mostly a foodie, kind of makes sense that he would go to sandwich, go, and it also kind of works that she would kind of be pissed off at him, so the reaction wouldn't completely tip off what he's going after. And we find out that the caretaker is an amped up Jin, saying that he was wondering why Michael was back, seeing him test him, that he had amped up monsters all over for his traps for hunters. Is like, oh, okay, that's going to be fucking great, because now that's going to be tied in with our monsters of the week probably. And he's going, yeah, I can now make people's nightmares into reality. Yeah, but you pretty much can stab them and they dust. What the I mean, yeah, that's good for a couple seconds. He's like, oh, you probably won't be able to get me or anything without lamb's blood. He's like touching him, trying to make him go to sleep because he got amped up enough to be able to do that. Now, it's been a while since we've seen a Jin around. I don't remember exactly how they can get, usually it's the touch kind of thing. They're able to touch you. That's how their poison gets there. But mainly the whole amping up part was probably resistances to things and being able to make nightmares manifest themselves in reality. Because the touching is usually what takes them. Yeah. And I remember that. It's just the touching. He's power touching him, trying to get in his nightmares. He goes, you. So it seems like there's more going on inside of Dean that, I hope to God Michael's not in there, because, I mean, Castiel's touched him and done all that kind of angel stuff to him, and it would be like these writers to do that kind of thing, and Dean's way of killing this Jin is just to take a bookend and smash the ever-loving shit out of his head. You could do that to anything, and any kind of person or monster. It was just, these are amped up monsters with Archangel Grace. And essentially he just has to get the closest thing next to him and beat it to death. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's pretty much going with all these amped up monsters. They've almost just put in the territory of humans to a degree. Oh, okay, their special weaknesses don't matter anymore. Alright, just beat the ever-living shit out of them and chop their heads off. I mean, that works on everything now, right? My issue with it is not amped up monsters and them losing weaknesses. It's just, it takes away kind of that special quality of how hunters need to actively strategize against hunting these things. And also, it's just the execution. It's done in such a boring, blah way that it could be more just exciting and kind of dangerous for our heroes. And I just don't get that. Okay, able to fix that. We'd also gotten Dean having a heart-to-heart moment with the daughter, about like the father and all that kind of stuff, which I didn't give a crap about because she said she wasn't going to do it. And then they did it, but mainly for Dean's benefit, so that way he can talk about leaving the past behind. Which we haven't heard before already. So, he's able to kill the Jin. Everybody kind of gets all back together. They go back to the bunker. Bobby lays out everything about his son. And the boys get off the phone with Donna, and she's evidently going to let Bobby and Mary use it so that way he can just kind of get himself back into a good headspace and everything. And Sam and Dean formulate a plan of like, okay, we got to watch out for these traps now. And Sam says, hey, if I got to do it with only 2 hours of sleep, fine, I'm going to do it. Both just doing the same kind of thing for running themselves ragged. So hopefully it catches up. Otherwise, it's just going to be the same old wait and see approach. Wait until a certain point in the season. They finally get a tip. Go off to do something against Michael. That obviously either succeeds to a point, but not, or fails to a point and not. And then we gotta wait until the season finale. They really need to do something with fixing of what's going on with the predictability of this. Same thing with like The Walking Dead and all that. It's like, come on. This universe has such great characters and interesting lore and monsters and everything that you can do in different kind of ways. And if that means you have to build to a concrete end and then have to create something different from it, do it. It's stories cannot go at infinite ad infinitum. There has to be an ending point at some point. I mean, you could still use the world, but you'd have to have new characters, new beginnings and new ends and all that. And just doing the same thing over and over. It's like, come on. Everybody deserves better. The writers, the fans, the actors, the characters, all of it. Oh. And the monster movie one was so good, and then I'm like, oh, here we go. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.